I'm proud of you guys. You work hard. Yeah. We're going to celebrate with a pizza party. Here we go. Pizza party. What? Here comes the pizza party. Hey. Oh. Pizza party.
Club NGMI.
We are so glad we made it to witness. I mentioned it before, but it's the triumph of the human spirit. We are hitting roadmap milestones and missing them with an incredible clip. I don't think we did a showdown slate this week.
We did one last week.
We did.
Oh, it was okay. So the roadmap was to do a showdown slate. I thought it was like a perpetual thing. Okay. Anyway, a lot of people got pizza. I'm very interested in Reno to see if Reno gets pizza in New Zealand. Reno hasn't been rugged yet. We'll see. There's a new face around for now, for today, for tonight. XG. What's going on, XG?
Not much, guys. I'm just excited to be here today.
Can we talk about the intro?
I have no pizza yet, so,
What?
Oh, no.
Rugged him.
XG's getting rugged, too.
The intro was awesome, but who spelt the NGMI wrong? It was like,
oh no, I didn't realize that.
It was
wrong. Don't point it out.
Babs the accountant noticing that shit.
It was NMGI.
Did you just boot him?
Yeah, he booted him.
Yeah.
No, it was awesome. Who did the intro? It was great.
I did the visual and
Awesome.
Jake did the audio.
Oh, it was really good. Other than the misspell, but no one noticed but me.
No one noticed, so you pointed it out. So.
And we wouldn't have noticed, but now
I know now
everyone knows about it.
Yeah,
I think we keep
nice
it
one,
personally. I don't think we fix it. I think we leave it.
Oh,
I
it's
think
way better that way.
Yeah, it's an inside joke. We keep it. All about it. Babs, now you're next up on my screen at least. What's going on in your world today?
Nothing. It's Canadian Thanksgiving, so that was busy. I actually probably for the first time in I don't know how long didn't mint anything today, so that was weird. Tried to spend some time off my phone a little bit while also checking my bags when I could. But no, it was good. That's what's going to happen with me. Busy weekend because of everyone, all the kids at home.
Hold on, it's busy when all the kids are at home.
It is. Like today was holiday, so my son was at home rather than being in daycare. So extra busy because you got all three. So
I understand now.
Yeah.
How about you, Trey?
You got it.
The kidless wonder.
Busy day for me. I was traveling. Flew down
I'm
to.
getting a phone call. I'm pretty sure it's pizza, so you guys can drive this.
Didn't you already get yours?
Yeah, I'll tell the whole story later on. I'm not.
Got it.
He's probably getting mine too.
Yeah. He delivered Babs' the Dangy. Look at this guy. Look at this
guy. The
guy.
address on my order. I was like, I'll just take two.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Unbelievable. But I flew down to Florida today. So I'm hanging out in Southwest Florida down here in Fort Myers. My parents got a condo down here. So my birthday is coming up here in a couple weeks. So I'm going to spend the next couple weeks down here with the fam. Enjoy the nice tropical weather.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't really mint much this weekend. I hopped into the mice on toads that you guys were all. Everyone's just saying,
yes.
Imagine not having a mice on toads.
And
I'm pretty sure every toad bought after mine was cheaper than the one that I bought. But I was using my phone, and I didn't really have great service, so I wasn't sure which ones were going through. So I just would try to buy a different one, just assuming it didn't go through. Then all of a sudden, I had 5 of them in my wallet. So hopefully,
that is dangerous.
One day they'll make a run back up.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, at least. But yeah,
that was a blast.
We got pizza.
Night.
We got more pizza.
You.
So pizzatime.xyz, they're the goats. This is incredible customer service. I don't even know where to put this pizza. So long story short, I went to go pick up pizza and people didn't believe me, but the pizza place in town does not deliver. They just don't have drivers to deliver. So now my dog's going nuts. Hold on. Oh, nope. Wife got it. Okay. So they don't deliver. So they said, okay, go pick up your pizza at the store. And so I go pick up the pizza. It's all great and fine. You can check out, there's a little short on our channel of that experience. So then I get an email about 20 minutes ago. oh, good, we reordered your pizza because we saw that the order got canceled. So to get a pickup order, they canceled the delivery order. So pizza time.xyz was like, oh, Dangy Wang did not get his pizza. Let's run it back. So they ran it back from a pizza shop literally 30 minutes away. And the lady was like, y'all don't have Papa John's down here? Like, apparently not. So she drove a half hour away. She got a good pizza. So, yeah.
So you got
So we
two
got more
pizzas. A lot of people got 0 pizzas. Is that correct?
Well, and I paid for the first pizza out of my own pocket, just to be clear. But yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So they didn't actually send you 2.
This pizza is token pizza.
There you go.
It's way better.
This
than
pizza
token pizza.
is pocket pizza.
Not the pocket pizza.
Do you see the difference? No. Okay. How do we
Which
get
one
around
tastes
the horn?
better?
Oh, good point.
We went around the horn while you're enjoying your delicious pizza.
I love it. XG. Okay. XG, when do you want to close that raffle for that 101?
Okay, I'll send it one more time in the chat, and then I'll close it up in like 10 minutes afterwards.
Yeah, throw it in the chat.
Perfect. 10 minutes in the chat. While we do that, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up what that 101 looks like, just in case you haven't seen it. Let's see. So, big mints this week. We had the Mecca raffle. Babs, I know you have hot takes about this raffle idea. What are your takes on like the raffle mechanics versus gas wars, etc.?
You have to listen to me rant. We've kind of talked about this before, but I hate the raffle. And main reason I hate it is it eliminates people that really want something, the chance to get it without having to pay ridiculous, secondhand fees, right? Like I actually wanted a Mecca. Like, I thought they were cool. I would have loved one. And I would have liked the chance to, pay in gas what I wanted to pay for it, right? Where, if you miss out on the raffle paying, 7 ETH for something that you want, like it's not really, you lose all the EV opportunity at that point, right? Like you're owning it to own it because you like it, which, I'm not in the business of doing that. I still want to be able to make some kind of money. So yeah, the raffle, like it just ruins it for me. It's not like what I like. I get trying to make it fair. If you're trying to make it fair, why are you giving everyone 2? And if you're trying to make it fair, why don't you do a Dutch auction, right? Like make people pay for it, what they think it's worth, right? At least then I would have been happy with the Dutch auction. I could pay for what I wanted to. Price might appreciate after, but that's the risk I take. Where a raffle is just like pure luck. People are multi-walleting. People are botting it. It kind of just, trying to make it fair almost made it more unfair in my eyes. So that's my take.
I'm with you on the 2. That's for sure. I don't understand why you would need 2 of them. Yeah. That's wild. Trey, where do you stand on the gas war raffle debate?
I mean, just selfishly speaking, I hate raffles. I mean, I think anybody that has been in the NFT space, for the last couple of months is going to hate a raffle, just because if you know how to operate during a gas war and just, I mean, yeah, raffles are just the worst. I mean, I come from the sneaker community too, and that was a big thing that they were fighting against was bots and all that stuff. And it ended up coming down to, they switched over to, sneakers did, or Nike did the sneakers app where they did everything through raffle, and it just killed it. I mean, nobody ever wins sneakers raffles unless you're super lucky. So there's just it almost takes the fun out of it. Like part of the fun is having that, gas war and having your heartbeat get up and kind of being in the moment and trying to decide what you want to pay and that kind of thing. Whereas with this, it's literally, you just go to their site, you enter the raffle, and then you just sit there and hope. And that's all you can do. You just feel powerless, out of control. At least when I miss a mint, like an Art Blocks mint where I've tilted before and I don't get it, but at least I tried, right? Whereas this, it's like, yeah, I guess at least I entered it, but what were the odds that I actually ended up hitting? Not very high. So yeah, not a fan of the raffles.
Lou, raffle, gas war,
It's
other.
It's tough balance because on one hand, there are people that don't know the strategy of the gas wars, and maybe they don't have as big of a bankroll, and it's their first NFT and this is their chance at it. So like there's that side to it, but it's also then all of a sudden the floor is 5, 7 ETH, and now those people that got essentially 5 free ETH, so it's a really weird balance where it's like an actual lotto ticket, and that's what happened with Top Shot when they switched to that.
I need to go get my
system.
pizza. Sorry.
Oh, nice. So he didn't get rugged.
He didn't.
So yeah, like Top Shot did that, and that takes a little fun away, but I don't think every NFT is going to be doing that. So that's the nice side of it. I think this one they had 200,000 people. In that sense, like this might have been the fairest way to do it, unfortunately.
What about you, XG?
Yeah.
You raffle, gas war?
I did not like the raffle. Like if Mechas would have dropped like a month and a half ago, like everyone in our chat would have been all over that. We would have been winning that over some of the people in that Mecha chat. Like, which I can see how that's unfair to them, but it's like the raffle makes it like very unfair to everyone in a way. Like they're trying to be fair in a way, but like because people are gonna bot it, people are gonna multi-wallet it, so it's gonna become like very hard to the people that are trying to be fair. So I think the raffle was not the best choice. I think like a Dutch stealth option, like a stealth Dutch auction drop would have been the best. But
Trey, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're good. I think, and I don't want to take away from the fact that, there were some cool stories, like people that told their friends to, get 0.4 Ether so that they could enter and have this be kind of like their first taste of NFTs. That's really cool. If those people did, hit, it's their first NFT. Now all of a sudden they're sitting on like 35 or 40K that they otherwise never would have. So that part of it is definitely cool. And I'm not taking away from that. It's just when you do a raffle, I think these, like you said, XG, I mean, they try to make it fair. But I think it's naive to think that it is going to be fair. I don't think that there is a perfect system for any of this. If there was, then Nike and Adidas and a lot of these other massive retailers would have figured it out by now. So I think a lot of these projects just try and get way too cute with the way that they drop stuff, and then it ends up going a lot worse. This one seemed to go relatively well, to be honest. And I think they did a decent job of preventing multi-walleting through Twitter verification. I know that when I signed in on, my multiple Twitter wallets, it asked, I had already verified them and they had asked me to like re-verify the phone number. So I couldn't even do that. So it is what it is, not super disappointed that I missed out. But yeah, the raffle system is just like, it's one of those things. They try and make it fair, but it just ends up not being that fair.
That's why this is going to be a very dangy comment. I'm very interested in the ethnology drop just because they've worked with Andy for months on it. And it's a buddy of his that at least is on the project. So I'm wondering what the game theory is on that drop and what that's going to look like. I did just see for ethnology, they're doing a Woody's-esque burning versus holding game theory idea for the mint pass. So that's pretty neat. Yes, Tony has the important part. We are whitelisted. So yeah, we are in there. Yes, you can either burn the mint pass to get the actual NFT, or you can hold it to possibly get a one-of-one rarer item. So that's pretty exciting. Babs, we need a pizza report, sir.
It's good. Yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm usually a thin crust guy though, and this one's like really thick.
Can you show the people?
It's got a lot of pepperoni. Like it's very thick. You know what I mean? So like I don't know. Like it's a lot, but it's good. Whoa, that's close.
Did you get the cheese? Yeah. Oh, nice.
Wait,
holy cow! They just loaded that. I have never seen so many toppings on a pizza before in my life.
That's how they do it in
it's
Canada.
Full of meat, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good protein, but it's good. No, thank you. Thanks, Dangy, for organizing it.
Yeah.
So I missed part of the Mecha comments. So Dangy, like you hit, and obviously like that's amazing and exciting. Yeah. So are you holding one till reveal? Like, do you feel good holding one? Do you think the floor is going to crash? Are you just hoping mainly for the rare lottery?
I want to list it, and part of that is, my saying has been de-risk. Oh God, just whisper de-risk into my ears, and then I get excited.
Yeah, I can't
I'm all
wait for you to pull the a 1 of 1 that you sold at 5 ETH, and then it sells for 200 ETH.
And
that
wait for my wife to FUD that too. Like she hit me with that toad thing. It was like, oh yeah, like that toad.
Wait, she knew how much the toad sold for?
Yeah,
no!
Oh no!
Why did you tell her? Oh no!
Because and then I had to tell her like, no, like that legit hurts. Like that is a bad feeling, and I don't want to hear that again. But yeah, it's I think I'm trying to sell it pre-reveal. I sold one at 6.9. Very happy with that. I have one listed higher than that right now. Thank you, Trey. So we'll see what happens. I do like the art. I do think it could really pop and be legit life-changing. Although we're already there in Dangy Town. More to come later, I think. But really, really life-changing for us at least. So there's a chance there, but I do think it'll be a deep U, like Babs has been saying. I could see it get down to 2 ETH, I think.
Yeah.
It's like,
however,
why is it as high as it currently is?
I was
I'm wondering that too. It just does not, it doesn't feel like it should be. And I don't even know why, to be honest, other than it does feel like most of the projects maybe recently that have been, pumping and doing well aren't necessarily just cool art. They've got more going for them. Whereas this one is like, I'm pretty sure this one is just propped up completely on these look fucking dope. And that's pretty much it. So I would, if I had minted to, I would be pretty worried if I was holding it to reveal, unless you hit something big, which is always, with this type of drop, that upside is pretty crazy. Like Lou said, 200 ETH maybe. Right. If you sell it right away. Yeah. So, it's definitely something you got to weigh. That's for sure.
You definitely
I'm not going to blame anybody.
The Oni drop, that first day stuff was going for 20 plus.
Yeah.
I think it'll be similar to that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Aren't these all just going to all look rare? That's my concern with it.
I think so.
I think they're all going to look pretty unique. Babs, you're still on mute.
Sorry, guys. My worry is they're all just going to look the same, right? Like we kind of seen this with other projects, like Surreal. We really like the art, like it looked cool, and then once they all got revealed, they all kind of looked the same, right? Kind of the same thing with Savage Droids. Like if everything has kind of the similar properties, like what differentiates yours from the other one, it does kind of like make it less appealing, I find. But I think with Mecha, there's like kind of two things going for it. One thing is the unique owners already. Like I haven't looked lately, but it's got to be over 5,000 people owning, 9,000 tokens, and that kind of keeps the floor up. If people only want, they have one, they want to keep one. There's just less people selling. So that it has that going for it, and it had that going for it from the drop because people only had 2. Yeah. And the other thing is people just have more money now, right? Like people's ETH balances are way higher than they were 2 months ago. Like wealth has changed hands. Like all of us have more ETH than we had 2 months ago. 6 ETH isn't as much as it was beforehand, like 2 months ago. Like people can afford
Ori
that.
Has like 10 ETH now.
Exactly. Like people can afford that. It's not like it's 90% of their bankrolls anymore. So I think it's those two reasons why the floor is so high, to be honest.
So let's talk about Ori real quick, and then I want to get back to pizza. So we'll make that transition. So Ori was our red paperclip. We want Ori to make it. He made it incredibly quickly, and now he's being incredibly reckless. Can we just agree on the show that we're done? Our fiduciary responsibility of Ori is over, and he's on his own? Because I'm really sweating him minting these pieces of dust that he just keeps doing. I really hate it. Can we agree with that?
Ori, like. He slid into my DMs today. He asked me some questions. He's asking the right questions. I don't think he's going to blow it all. Like he knows he's been pretty lucky, and he knows how much, how life-changing some of those wins can be. Like, I don't think he's just going to blow it. I think he's also having a little fun. Like, let the guy have a little bit of fun. He's not minting like 20 of these dusty things. He's minting 2 or 3.
He's not getting 10 of those, whatever those dogs that Davis minted earlier. It was funny because Davis threw in there that he minted 5, and I had just opened the contract, and I saw a group of 5, and then right under it was another group of 5, and I was like, I think he submitted that twice. So now he's got 10 of those. What were they? Something pup, right? Golden pup.
Yeah, that's right. So
what were
actually-
those? I didn't even see that.
Oh, don't Trey.
I mean, you could look them up.
Yeah, they were
have
golden
like
puppies.
1,500 minted.
Were they golden
Yeah.
pup? Yeah.
What happened to the Carlini rule?
Oh man, no one. does
Davis
that
just
rule anymore.
jumping the gun.
Well, I think because Dan came in and he said that he got 10. Because Cole has 100 of them. Cole minted 100 of like the first 500. So people are thinking, oh, Cole is attached to this project. Look what he did with Pudgy Penguins. It's the type of thing that people like to ride with, you know.
So XG, you grinded up. I believe when you started, you had a fairly low bankroll, not to get in your pocket, but I remember you
Yeah.
being fairly tight.
I
What was your
started
strategy
with-
early on?
I started with 0.3 E. Was what I got in with. And at first it was just, I guess what everyone was doing, just mint like what everyone was minting and then just hope for a rare and stuff. But at first my strategy was like get 1 or 2 because that's all I could afford really. And then just, I would always get the guaranteed profit before reveals. Like I would always just lock it in because I always felt like I couldn't gamble on risking it, because it was like, once you turn, like when you first start, like you turn E into like dollars and then you see it as a lot. But after a while, like I think my Animeta's mistake like kind of helped me like holding stuff, and it's helped me out, like it's helped me get some waves. But I think what I've made the most on has been just writing floors. Like I'll pick up, I think Oni ones was something I bought like very low, and then I just rode that all the way up. Mutants I got in like on the Dutch auction, and then that helped me as well. But it's just, I think it's been more about writing the floors for me than actually getting the lucky mint.
And that's how the
that's
early
my take
grind
on
is.
that's my take on mechas. And what I'm afraid of is if you get like a mid rare, they're just not liquid. Like
Yeah.
Tough. It is.
it's
You
very
basically
hard.
have to sell it for floor.
Yeah.
If you want it to be liquid, or you just set it for a price and let the floor run into it. That's
Yeah.
pretty much what happens. Like nobody's buying that floor. Like I had a gutter cat that was the same way. Like it had some decent traits. Like it was ranked like, in the top 1,000, but you try and list it for a premium and it just doesn't get any views. It doesn't sell. Like it's tough.
It
I think
feels like
that's
anyone.
when it has to look cool.
Yeah, feels like anyone who's
Yeah.
wanted a mecha would have bought one by now, almost, right? Like who's going to buy a
good point.
mid tier rare after the reveal, right? Like
Yeah.
you would have already bought one. You would have bought on the rare lottery, right? Like
Unless there's like a trait that people just really, really like. Like sometimes you see that, right? Where it's like, it's not even a rare trait, but people just dig it.
Yeah.
You could see some of that, but yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I
I've-
bought in. Oh, my bad. I bought in at like 7 point something on Mecha, and then my idea, I wasn't gonna hold till review because I knew they were gonna drop. So like, in my sense, that was a good play to buy at that time. My mistake was not selling when they got close to 9 later that night. So I held over the night, and then they dropped a little bit. But I took my losses on that because I know in my head I know they will drop some more. And what I was ready to risk now, like I'm just gonna go in and pick one that I actually like instead, and just like hope to ride that floor or whatever, like I have been doing.
I think it's sharp for sure. All right, Diana has a question. Best advice on people starting with a low budget like XG. Now it's very clear. It's whitelist. We're in a whitelist meta, no doubt about it. I have a buddy from in real life, from middle school. I've known this guy. I cried. I went to the bathroom at work to cry today. Like that's a thing that really happened because I was just so excited about this orc stuff. And he hit on 2 orcs for a whitelist and sold them. And so now he's in the game. Now he has Ethereum to play with and
That's
can play
awesome.
the game of it. So yeah. So it's whitelist and it's no doubt. That's a little bit hard, that orc one, because it was you had to be there or you had to be Babs. I'm still honestly not sure how Babs got on the whitelist for it.
Okay, wait. So Babs got on. I didn't even check, to be honest, because I had messaged like 3 total messages in there. And so I didn't even look today. So I'm not gonna go back and look and see if I was on that white list because
So,
I have a feeling I did look into it, meaning I'd probably just passed up like 7 ETH or something.
so that was me. Like I
was just so mad.
I didn't think I got on the whitelist. I was mad. I hated the orcs. Like I didn't talk. I didn't get on the first whitelist because I didn't say GM, right? Like I said no messages, so I missed the whitelist. And I didn't really talk much after that. So I kind of just assumed I wasn't getting on the second whitelist. And I was like, I'm going to bring up the contract and hit the mint button. Like sometimes people mess these up. So I hit the mint button. I didn't get gas errors. And then I knew everyone was going to hate me. So I didn't really talk about it. I still feel bad about it. So I'm kind of sheepish a little bit.
I mean,
so
I have a feeling the
Dangy
chat's
told
about
people-
to.
Oh, go for it.
No, I was just gonna say I bet people are looking to see if I'm on the whitelist right now.
Oh.
I just told
I
you.
have a feeling I probably am.
Real talk, dude. Like, do not look, because then if you know, you're gonna like DM Trey or DM somebody else, and like just don't.
I
look.
don't. This. I'm a little bit better at getting over that kind of stuff than some people, I think. So I would be. I'm actually kind of curious now.
well, were you in the chat? Were you in the chat when one guy?
Well,
Dangy,
I was flying, or I was traveling, so I was like at the airport and stuff. So I wasn't sure if I was even gonna be able to pull it off.
Dangy tagged people like 2 minutes before the deadline, saying like, this
Yeah,
is your
I got
last
that.
chance. And then
Yeah.
one guy didn't mint yet, and he's
Yeah, Marv, I got in there for that.
Oh,
That's
okay,
fun.
wasn't sure, but yeah, like
Crazy.
I was
Marv's not alone. Marv's not alone. There were two people in our chat that got in on that same block. It's crazy. It was the block before the public mint. It's insane.
Yeah, just like sleeping in. I slept in, so I almost missed out on 30 grand. But I'd say the other advice for people with a low bankroll is go in on the mints. Go in on the mints where there's a pre-sale and there might be a lot of activity, like a lot of sales activity. They seem less risky. Like those mints that there's going to be secondary activity because there's already a lot of activity on like the pre-sale items. And then when you mint those, you mint them and you sell them pre-reveal for guaranteed profit, right? Like if you're building up a bankroll, always sell pre-reveal, always going on mints that seem lower risk because they have delayed reveals and people are interested in them, right? Like you can grind out, 0.02, 0.03 on all those mints. You're doing it slow, but just like take the profit and move on, right? Like that's my advice.
You have to. I'm helping some people. I'm helping some friends in real life try get into and trying to give them advice, not telling them when to sell, but recommending like, hey, you need to recognize like there's so many mints and so many opportunities to make money on different projects almost every single day in this space that it is so important that if you do hit on, you mint something for 0.05 and then it runs up to 0.5 or something like that. I was selling that every day of the week back when we were first starting off. And I think it was easier back then because it was a lot easier to identify which projects almost every project was hitting back then if they were somewhat competent. But you got to take those wins and just not look back. Like you can't afford to hold and wait for that moonshot, even if it is going to be a 2 or 3 week hold. Like that's too long.
I think
opinion.
you should put like a target. So, I mean, generally when I do them, if I have a 0.08 mint, my target is generally at least 0.2 to sell it.
Yep.
If it gets up to that in the pre-reveal, then you're getting profit, and that's basically a 2-for-1. But I mean, I also am a little different than some other people in the chat who will list, if it doesn't get up to 0.2, they'll list it at 0.12 that first day. And I like to wait it out at least a day or two, because sometimes people haven't heard about it yet, or it just finished minting, so there's just new eyes on it. And then a lot of times you can tell based on like the art and the devs if it's something that's going to go up or not. So I like to wait it out a little bit. People like to FUD that first day right after the drop because they missed out on the mint, and then they're just are in that Discord and talking shit and that whole thing. So then, it's just a domino effect negatively.
Pizza question. We're going to go around the horn. Crust. Thumbs up or thumbs down? I'm a thumbs up on the crust. What do you got, Babs?
Yeah.
Do I like crust?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thumbs up. Yeah.
Trey?
If I could just order pizza crust, I would.
That's the correct answer, by the way. What do you have, Augustine?
I love the crust. It's thumbs up
Yeah.
to me.
Bunch of crusties. I'm surprised.
Who's anti-crust?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, if you're anti-crust, I mean that's
Don't have
you're the
children.
antichrist.
Children hate the. You called my daughter the Antichrist. Thank you, Trey. Noted. All right, XG. Tell us about this piece that you have. Let me get a link to it. I'm curious about like inspiration, history, where it came from, anything like that, and then I'll put it up on the screen for the people.
Well,
And then we'll do a wheel for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always been like into that whole like space art type of vibe, I guess. And I guess I've always had that type of inspiration from it. But I think the title of it is like also meaningful to me. Like I think the collection title, which is in Spanish, which is what my first language is, it's called El Principio, which stands for the beginning, you know. So this is like I want to grow as an actual artist inside of the space, not just be someone who mints and flips the NFTs. I want to be someone who makes stuff that people want to collect and actually hold. So this is just kind of like where I'm starting. No real inspiration behind it besides like the whole space like vibes to it that I've loved forever. That's it really.
Yeah, your aesthetic is very bright as well in most of what I've seen of your work. Like it's very high contrast, I guess is a way to put it too. Like you got a dark background with neon stuff going on. The jellyfish is interesting to me. So are you into like sea creatures, or like what made you bring that in into the fold here?
It's just something you wouldn't expect to see there. Like, right? It's just an astronaut. It's like the most random thing that you would not expect, yet it still catches your eye. And it feels like it kind of belongs there in a way, you know?
Yeah, I love it. I think this is great art. Legitimately. Babs, does this pass the wall test?
I love it, actually. I actually really want to win it, and I'll be mad if I don't. I know we shouldn't want to win it because it looks like it's rigged, but, fuck those guys. I'm winning.
I mean, you are,
Sell it to you.
and that's the funny thing is Babs is gonna win.
Yeah,
Like,
throw out.
I think we all just know that Babs is gonna win at this point.
Yeah. All right. Let me get this wheel going, and then we'll actually share for it. So, XG, thank you for all your work on the show, behind the scenes, doing visuals for us, doing some video work for us. I think we might have said this before, but we said, "Oh yeah, who wants to do like video stuff?" And you're like, "Great." And then we hop in a DM, and then you make this intro for the show, and we're like, we're just random dudes that wanted to chat about NFTs, and this intro is legit. Oh boy. So thank you for forcing us to be less than terrible, I guess.
And the token. It's his
thanks
token.
for both.
Yeah, I can't forget the token too.
The token's awesome. The intro's awesome. I'll always appreciate it, X.
Why are there two Dangies? I put that I have one token, XG.
We know you have
Why
more
you
than
you're
one.
lying?
Yeah, but I just want to. But I didn't want to win because I don't.
It's a shuffle order.
Belair has two
Yeah,
tokens.
shuffle it like 5 times.
Are we
There's a
happy
lot of
now? Is
people
this
on
good?
this.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? Oh my God!
No way. No fucking way.
It's rigged.
Perfect.
It's rigged.
That is rigged. That is rigged.
It's so rigged.
Are we allowed
I love
Yeah,
it.
but XG is gonna get that influencer pump when everyone sees the token sitting in sitting in the overset open sea.
Simply incredible stuff.
Ridiculous.
As we know, we're just glad it wasn't Babs. That's for sure the case. Okay.
I have
Actually,
a
I'm so
question
glad
in
you-
the other chat.
Yeah.
If you want.
Fire away.
It says, what do you guys think about projects where you have a whitelist, but there's low activity, pre-sale? It said bots, city roots, TOR. So do you pass on like the public sale, or do you still mint public sale?
That's a great question and applicable
That is a
for
good
today.
question.
For today, like bots, I had free sale where I could have minted 10. I thought about it a long time. I looked. There was hardly any sales pre-sale. It was an expensive mint price. some people posted pictures of what they minted and they all kind of looked the same. They had way too many traits. You couldn't tell what was rare. I bailed. I didn't mint any. I just thought it was too risky. Wasn't worth it. Like there wasn't a ton of pre-sale mints. So, like if that changes in the future, I can mint the public sale, but like, it's just not worth saving a little bit of gas for the risk of me holding, a 1 ETH bag. Right.
Yeah.
I did the same as that thing.
I think in that situation, I'm probably doing like 2 or 3. I've been doing like 2 or 3 of like 3 is kind of like my magic number now. I've been doing 3 of a lot of projects where it's like, and I think part of it is just because I want to be in on the fun. If some of these projects do just, pump, like it's so fun to be in a project when it's just going nuts and the Discord's going nuts and, you can go on Twitter. So I've been doing like a lot of, if I'm not super confident in a project or I don't know what it is, or it just gets posted in there and like it's about to sell out, like about to sell out used to be a good indicator that I should ape, 2 or 3 months ago. Now it's like, just that's the baseline. You need that to happen in order to mint. So I've been doing like 2 or 3 on some of those ones. And then, not a huge hit if it crashes, but then, I've been holding those. So like I still have 2 mutant cats. Mutant cats was a perfect one. I didn't know what it was. Came out, minted 3, and now I sold 1, and now I'm just kind of sitting on the other 2. And it did well for me. So I'm losing on some of them like that, but on the ones that I can afford to hold, it's working out. So that's kind of my strategy on those ones is, mint 2 or 3 and then just kind of play that game. But if you don't have as much liquidity, then maybe hold off on the ones that you're not confident in. I think that you really do need to be focused on your conviction if you do have that low bankroll and really focus on projects that you think could be a really good ROI for you.
Yeah, like I would normally mint 2 or 3, but my worry with bots is I didn't even know if it would sell out, right? Like,
yeah,
it minted like the pre-sale was so slow. Like someone in the chat brought up Boss Beauties, like that minted slow in their pre-sale and didn't have a ton of sales action. But the difference there was Archic was in the Discord and pumping it, right? So like that one you knew was going to sell out. Where I'm just not sure.
Wasn't pre-sale same day for that one? It was like an hour before.
Yeah, it was. Like I think you had 6 hours to mint, but it was basically the same day the public sale opened. Where bots I think is like another 24 hours. But yeah, I think it just depends, right? Like I'm a little bit more worried that we're in a little bit of a wintry period. So like that's why also I didn't mint bots is kind of that double. Like if it was summer out, if it was summer, I was minting 10 if it was 2 weeks ago. But now I'm just kind of playing it safe, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you could mint 10 and then this is no shade, and then play above the floor and then make your 1 or 2 ETH and then move on. That was a great play just a little bit of time ago. I think it's time. I want to bring up the man, the myth, the legend, the Toads, the Stacked Toads adjacent whisperer for at least 48 hours, reviving Stacked Toads, Mr. Gump Skull. Welcome to the chat, sir.
What's up, guys? Pretty good. How about you?
Gump, what is that on your shoulder?
I got a little toad.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, he's so on brand. Yeah. I love it.
I mean, if I'm gonna pump, I gotta pump, right?
You're damn right.
There wasn't a lot of pumping going on today, though. I gotta say.
No, I kind of missed that. Yeah, that was. I remember checking OpenSea a few times throughout the day, and everything was Stacked Toads were not doing great. And then there was all the beanie talk, so we'll have to catch up on that.
Yeah, it was. We can get there, but it's been a tough couple days for the team, or the Toads team, not me. But
let's get into that. What has been tough about the Toads team?
Okay, so night 1, they sell out. I don't even get a mint. I have to second guy. So I buy. Well, Nate, shout out Nate, got me 3. Second guy a few more, and then I see floors dropping. I don't even remember if there was a liquidity pool or not. But so I DM Dean, one of the devs in the Discord. I'm like, hey man, this thing's gonna die if you do not do something right now. He's like, well, what should I do? What should I do? I'm like, just give the people a little taste, a little announcement. Say this is coming, and it'll fly. And that worked, and that's the end of what I was able to do after that.
You're washing your hands of all responsibility.
No, I'm not. I mean, I could pull up my DMs right now. I DM this Mike guy and Dean like 2-3 times a day. And I get fewer responses than I used to, but I DM'd one of them today. I'm like, bro, you guys got to work on the announcements because you're just scaring, you're spooking people. So
yeah,
I'm working on it.
They kind of remind me of the exoplanet guy who, when he would do announcements.
Oh my God, I forgot.
They're
Oh
bad.
no, not the planets.
It's like they
bad.
don't think about what they're saying first
No.
and how like it's. Oh yeah, well their announcements are more like, yeah, we might do something. Let us know if this sounds cool. You know, that's kind of how their announcements are.
Or it would be unfortunate if OpenSea delisted
Yes.
us. Yeah. Like, oh really? Would
Yeah,
it?
why
Well, that-
Yeah.
No, yeah,
That would
you
suck.
got to be like, no, we're fighting that tooth and nail. Like, we'll be knocking
Yeah.
on OpenSea's doors if they try and delist us. That's what they need to hear, and that's what Beanie is so good at. Like,
that was my thing. Was we've had this conversation a lot. The whole delisting, and we talked about this in that chat a lot. It's like if they delisted every staking project, we're all dust. Like everyone is dead. Kongs
OpenSea
get
is dead.
OpenSea's dead. If
Yeah.
Kongs get delisted, we're all dead. So that's not. It could happen, but if it happens, we're dust anyway. But two, so I didn't have an issue with them addressing it. What I had a problem with was the language, which was, well, hopefully it doesn't happen. It's like, well, no, you need to tell them it's not going to happen, and this is why. And that's why I said to Dean, didn't get a response. Anyway, I feel like I have this burden on my shoulders to pump the toads, but it's been rough. It's been rough.
I love that. I've been out of the dating game for a long, long time, thank God. And I feel like Gump, you're just getting like ghosted. Like she's sending you a message or he's sending you a message and you're just not listening. You just keep firing ideas back at poor Dean. And
The
just
last
not listening.
message I got from Dean was a booty call at 3:45 in the morning, which was, "We love the toads." I'm like, well, yeah, I love the toads. That was a couple days ago, but man, it's been tough. I'm still holding on. I think I'll be fine unless these the ether monkeys get them, but I don't know.
Do you Gump, do you worry that there's going to be, you know, and like I'm a big toad holder, so like this is hurting my bags, but I do worry that there's going to be too many staking copy pasta projects coming and it kind of just dilutes the whole pool. Like I still have 8 stacks. Like I'm hoping the toads make it, but like, are we worried? You know, bamboozlers came, ether monkeys came, like there's a moose thing today. Like I'm just worried that like it's going to get worn down.
Well, it's like the loot meta, which was a week or two, where it was put out 6 lines of text, sells out, you can 5x right after the drop, and then that died in 2 weeks. I think this has a little more life in it, only because you're telling people you can earn more by holding this thing, whereas loot, it was just the JPEG, which is buy it, sell your 6 lines of text, move on. So I don't know. I am concerned. Look at like I just mentioned, the ether monkeys. They literally said you can stack 3 monkeys and stake them. The only differentiator was the extra banana you could buy, which I'm a fish and I bought one to get 7.5x your reward. So the meta will be gone eventually, especially if OpenSea enforces their terms of service, which they won't. So yeah, it is concerning.
Wait, Gump, you believe that these are against terms of service for OpenSea?
No,
They are. They all are.
I think it depends on how they word it. That's
Their
like the big
OpenSea
thing.
profile.
Yeah,
that's
it's how
interesting.
they have to word it very particularly, and that's
Yep.
what the Dow Turtles didn't do. They like expressed like this
Yep.
is a way to make money, basically,
It is.
and that's why if you read did you guys read the groupies announcement today? So in there they like
didn't.
they
Strictly for-
stressed that this has no economic value, like that whole thing. And
It's
so
strictly
now they're
for
all using
utility
this
and
word.
art is what they
Utility
said.
token.
Oh, we love it.
Yeah.
So
Utility
you can
Love
token.
reinvest it
groupies.
in the project,
Yep.
but you're not doing it for
Yeah.
your own gain.
Can I ask a very dumb question that I'm going to represent probably the dumb people that are watching?
Wouldn't be the
What
first
is a
time.
security? Can you define a secure? Can someone define a security for me? Because we all talk about that. Can't be a security. What does
This
that
is a
mean?
tax stream.
Don't pay
Maybe.
your taxes, guys. Not financial.
Anybody? Secure. Trey seemed most eager. I don't know.
I have looked it up. I mean, I have a degree in finance and economics. I should probably know it. But it's one of those things. I guess I don't want to try and define a security on stream, I guess, but the way that I look at it, I guess, is you invest in something and then you expect there to be a financial reward involved. It's obviously a lot more than that below the surface, but in general, that's kind of like, and I was thinking that when some of these projects, or I think it was Tiki came out and they were just like, yeah, we're going to give you 50%. Like we're going to give back 50% of these, 50% of the secondary sale revenue that they generate. And I was asking everybody, I was like, is this not like a security? And so I guess I'm not really sure. But in my mind, when I kind of go through like the Howey test and everything, it seems like you're investing in this Tiki thing and then they're promising money to be sent back to you. But Gump, why don't you jump in?
So your definition of security was extremely close to the dictionary and the SEC's definition. The key differentiator right now is the IRS and SEC treats NFTs as property. So they treat it like, sometimes this is a state thing, but like if you have a pet, the state and the government treat your pet as property. So they don't treat it the same as a stock or a bond. So that's why I get really heated during the tax conversations, which is a different day. But I'm going to treat it how they treat it. So that's why I don't think yet the staking projects, to go full circle, are under fire now. And I was talking to Babs, like if OpenSea is going to go, if the SEC said you got to take all this stuff down, they would literally go to the Supreme Court and be like, you guys say these are property, not securities. So there's a lot of issues that can happen, but that's the game. It's the game we play.
Well, and I think that's why we are, I know there's a lot of watch trading talk that goes on, because when ETH drops, everybody's talking about watch trading. That is why we can't even do that, is because ETH and Bitcoin and most of these assets that we're trading are not considered securities. They are considered assets, and therefore they are not, they don't have to abide by, you don't have to abide by the same rules that, other people, these big financial firms do when they're, trading stocks. It's different than that, which is why we can sell ETH and then immediately buy it back, so we don't lose out on the gains or whatever it is.
Well, we're talking about the token. We're not talking about the NFTs in this case, right? So isn't that
the NFT?
But still,
Security is basically a financial instrument that is either debt or equity. It can be traded. It's ownership in either debt or equity. So that's kind of like where tokens, if you're saying it's to make money, it is a security, right? Like if the sole purpose of the token is to make money in a project, its legal definition is security. Where that's why Groupies today was trying to stress that it's a utility token. You're using it to to buy future art, like that changes it, rather than we're strictly using this token to generate stack, which we can trade on Uniswap for more ETH. Like it's a little different, right? Like if you're getting into the logistics of it, that's where you get into the trouble situation.
Well, this is my last comment on the topic, but I listened to a podcast on the way to the game yesterday. No free plugs, so I won't plug them. Do you want a free plug, Danny?
Yeah.
It was it's called Bankless. Sure you've all listened to it before.
Yes.
So they had the CEO of OpenSea on the podcast, and they asked him about they said insider trading scandal with Nate, and the first thing out of his mouth was, "Well, I just want to clarify, it wasn't insider trading. That doesn't apply to us." Mm-hmm. So that tells you the mindset that OpenSea is taking, which is we're not securities yet. Yep. So don't on this podcast say insider trading, because he was very, very, very clear about it. So I noticed that as well. I listened to that.
That's not the That's not the token that's given as a result of holding the NFTs. They're two different things,
No.
right?
But their argument and where it could go in the future is NFTs are an equity ownership in this company, and that company is the NFT provider, right? So like that's where you're going to get into the situation where if the government ever starts cracking down, like we might be in trouble. But that's so far away. Like we'll be out of our bags by then, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, that's what I didn't understand with the whole Tiki thing. I was like, okay, so we're buying into this project, and then they're promising to give us back like 50% of these secondary sales. So it just seemed to fit the security definition to a T. But I guess maybe like you guys, Gump and Babs, you guys have both referred to, we're maybe not there yet. Like they haven't quite even gotten to that point where they're probably not even thinking about that stuff yet, or even know that it's going on. Who knows?
Ask for forgiveness, not for permission.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Offer permit. Oh, Gump, we'll talk about that later. I want to transition to Gump. Lou, I neglected to, when we were covering NFTs of the week, to go over Knights of Degen. So Lou, you said you wanted to chat about Knights of Degen and the goings-ons over there. I am sorry to say I don't own any Knights of Degen. Not a huge sports bettor, even though I like the sports betting space, and that's my understanding of the utility there, is it gives you access to premium sports betting and sports figures. Frankly, Tiki Barber, I'm sure you're a wonderful person. Don't care to chat in a Discord with you, buddy. Really don't. So Lou, what's been going on with Knights of Degen?
Yeah, great way to introduce a project by telling people how much you have zero interest in it. And yeah, so Knights of Degen, they revealed finally after what's been probably like 6 weeks since we've been waiting.
Has it really been that long?
I think it was 3 weeks between the mint pass and then when it got revealed. Because they did, you had to do the mint pass, wait a week or two, and then they actually did the minting, then wait a week or two. And so now everything's revealed. And I think, let me check, but the floor has been relatively steady. It's about 0.16 right now. There haven't really been massive sales. The top sale is only 4.3, and that was for a 1 of 1. I think there's kind of, you either love it or you hate it as far as the art goes. It seems there's kind of both sides I've heard from people, but it's a project that seems to be onboarding a lot of people into NFTs, especially people that come from the sports world. So like that's like the cool side of it. They still aren't verified, and I'm not sure if that's because they don't have a verified contract.
Don't you have to have 100 ETH in secondary?
Yeah, they have 900 in secondary.
Oh, okay.
So they have plenty of secondary sales, but I think I read the other day that OpenSea is like holding off on verifying new projects or something like that right now, or there's backlog in it. I think it's just a slower process now because it might have been one of those things where they were, anyone that hit 100 ETH, they just verified, and maybe they came across a few bad actors in that sense. So yeah, I mean, so far, like, it's kind of middling, I'd say. A lot of people are holding, like, it's about a little over 25% holder count. So it's still kind of low. But yeah, I mean, it seems like the people that bought into it are holding on. There's a lot of celebrities and higher end people on Twitter that are using it as their profile picture. So I'm not getting rid of mine yet, I guess is how I'm wording it. I plan to always keep at least one. I think Trey was saying something similar, where I still want to be like a part of what's going on in their Discord. I'm still long on them compared to Anim Ethereum, but I think most of us are. But I don't know. I think they just released at a bad time. I was talking about this during when they were holding off of doing their secondary sales. Is they were unrevealed during a huge bull market, and then they released at the end of the bull market. So I think that's part of it, where if they came out and revealed when they were minting, then maybe that would have been a little better for them. But yeah, there haven't been a ton of big sales yet, which is, I don't know, somewhat concerning, I guess.
They kind of hit part of the bull market, because I remember they were selling, like, Lou, you sold one to Draw a Rule for over 0.4 unrevealed at one point. So they kind of hit part of the part of the bull market. And also, yeah, like I love the Knights. Like, I think they're doing a really good job. Like, the reveal was really smooth. I don't love seeing Drew Austin, one of the people who's invested in it, bought mine, and now it's his Twitter PFP. So every time I'm on Twitter and I see him talking, I have to be reminded that I probably could have sold it to him for twice as much as I did. So that's not fun. But other than that, I think they did a great job.
Yeah, and they invested in that football team that it's fan run, and I think that's something that I want to say it's separate team than the one Jack had been a part of before, but it's the same league. So I don't know much about that league, but it's cool to see them immediately jumping in and showing people, like, here's what we're doing, here's the connections we have. And that's really what drove me to that project, is they have a lot of connections. And I think that'll help as far as if they need a boost from something, like they call someone up who's a big name and they have all these connections to sports world and things like that. And I don't know, it's unique in that sense, where you don't see a lot of other projects that are having AMAs with sports players.
Trey, do you have a take on Knights of Degen?
I minted 4. I still have all of them. I sold a couple pre-reveal and stuff. The art is what it is. I mean, like Lou said, I mean, seriously, there are, like, I am not personally not going to hang it on my wall, right? Doesn't pass the wall test for me, but there are legitimately people that love it. So it's one of those things where, certain people love it, certain people don't. It is what it is. But we were talking about this the other day. I mean, there's more. This is one of those NFT projects that feels like it's more for the utility and the community and not necessarily for the art, more so than it is everything else. So it really does seem like one of those projects that could easily get away with, not having the greatest art, in the eyes of the beholder or whatever. So I like it. Like I said, I'm going to hold on to probably, I might sell a few, but I'm going to hang on to at least 1 or 2 just to support Jack and support the rest of the team, just because we do run in kind of close circles with them. So, I'm always looking to do stuff like that.
XG, do you have a take on Knights? Did you mint?
I actually did not mint. I missed, I think, on the whitelist because I just forgot to sign up for it on the Discord. And then during the public, I was just like, I don't know if I was busy or if I just decided to not go in on them. And I think I've just watched from afar, and I considered going in before that bull run that Baz was talking about, where they got to like 0.4 or something like that, or 0.3. But after I saw them going up, I never
3.5 or 3.6.
Yeah, like after they started going up, I never.
They hit like 0.5 the night of when people were minting. There's a little game theory going on.
Can we just call it the night of the incident? Can we call it the incident in the Discord? That's when I sold, and they were high.
For Knights of Degen?
Yeah. If you know.
They were 0.45. I've sold like 4 of them for 0.45.
We've done worse.
Yeah.
Totally.
They have a natural. Someone's mentioned this before on one of these shows. Your first NFT means a lot to you, right? I think they have a natural diamond hand property to them, because a lot of those guys, like someone said, they're onboarding a lot of people. That's their first NFT. Like, they put in $500 into Coinbase, and this is what they minted, and they're into sports or Top Shot, or if they follow Jack, and this is it. So, like, they're not going to sell for 2x or 3x because this is their first NFT. So I feel like that helps them out floor-wise.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Let's continue the pizza party theme. Let's have more of a party. And we compiled some mailbag questions from the group. And so I guess we'll get 2 people to jump in if we're interested on some of these questions. Then we'll go around the horn, see what we got going on. So first, Eric Z is asking a tax question. dude, this is a pizza party. I don't want to talk taxes on a pizza party. We can deal with that later. Actually, Gump, this is a good one for you. I will give it to you, Gump.
Yeah.
It's not a tax question though. It's a wrapped tax
okay.
question. It's
Okay.
W tax. What about the price of ETH when tax season comes into play? Because as you know, you can defer paying your taxes until April. Not paying, but you can do it even further. Whatever. Most people will have a deadline of April 15th. What has been the price action in crypto between now and April 15th historically? And do you think that'll come into play when we work with NFTs and our NFT money now?
The price of ETH it's not relevant from January 1st to April 15th. It's relevant January 1 to, was that a question?
I misstated the question. It's not for tax liability. We're just talking price action.
Yeah. When will there be a sell-off of the ETH?
You'd have to
Before and
sell off
after
before
December 31st.
December 31st, right?
Yeah, that's a crypto storm question. I feel like he'd be really good at answering that.
It usually
I haven't
does
been
sell
around
off
long
in
enough.
December.
Yeah, I've seen him mention
through.
But also quarter four. I mean, Q4 is usually the best. Historically, has been the best for crypto returns up until this point. Correct?
In my head, like if you think about it, a lot of us like have made quite a bit of money trading NFTs throughout this year, and if you've never cashed out ETH to actual cash, how are you paying that tax bill? Like keep that right. Like there's probably a lot of people in that situation who, maybe have been trading NFTs since, March or April, have kept all their profit maybe in Ethereum. And what do you do when you file your taxes and you don't have any actual cash, right? Like, I do think there's a likely scenario where a bunch of people have to sell off in December.
So, but here's the thing though, is Q4 is the worst quarter for traditional equities anyway. So it's no different than your stock market that your 401k or your E-Trade account free float is.
The difference would be people aren't constantly selling those stocks, right? Like, so they're not realizing capital gains. Every time we buy and sell an NFT, every time we sell an NFT, we're realizing those gains, right? Where if you're just holding stocks, like you don't need to claim taxes on them if you have a price appreciation in that stock. It's only when you sell it, right?
Do we need to claim it if it's not reported to the IRS?
No, this is
That's
not.
a different question. We're not doing that.
Let's assume the majority of people are claiming Gump, and this is a price action question, not a tax question.
I know.
I'm kind of on Babs' side. I could see us taking a pretty big dump as we get into tax season. Jesse has a good point. I probably have told this story before. I remember buying Bitcoin with my daughter, who's now 4, as a newborn, a 3-month-old, her in my arms, me at a Christmas party at the top at 20K. So I was there like I didn't know what I was doing, but I bought them. So yeah, the top, and then ETH followed shortly thereafter, and then altcoins followed in February. So that's the historical action. That is not Jesse saying what will happen in the future, by the way. So yeah, I think we could see a sell-off.
It happened last year too, where it came up at the end, but then it like really went off start of the year. So I think in a sense, some people hold off on buying in at the end of the year, maybe not as much of like selling off, but I think you wait and buy in January was what happened this past year, at least. So I think it'll be a mix, because I'm sure it'll get touted, basically what Babs said on, well, if you don't sell off any, how are you going to pay the taxes? If you have thousands, tens of thousands, let's say, then you might not have a liquid USD balance of 2,500 or whatever. So it's going to be interesting. Luckily we have, about 12 weeks left in the year.
So now's the time to start thinking about it for sure.
That's right. That's where
you want to front run them for sure. I saw a tweet from Ledger Status from Up Only with him and Kobe. He talked about this in that tweet. He said there's one important trade left this year. I call it the tax trade, and it's trying to figure out when to make that trade and when to kind of front run everybody else. while also like, I think a lot of people in NFTs specifically are going to be like, I think we're sitting on a lot of potential losses right now. If you've been minting volume here over the last 5 months. So I think a lot of people might be trying to time like, hey, I'm going to sell a lot of my shit NFTs that I'm going to take losses on here in December. And then they're going to try and sell a lot of their bigger, maybe if they are looking to liquidate, sell some of their bigger NFTs that they're going to take gains on in January so that kind of cycles next year instead. So it's kind of trying to ham and egg it. In terms of what, I haven't sold anything yet. I haven't really come up with a plan on what I'm doing. We'll see on that, but I'm definitely starting to think about it right now. I'd like to see it get above the all-time high first, but we'll see if that happens. I'm just kind of trying to see how it plays out here. I still think we got a little bit of time, but not a ton.
So like ham and eggs refers to things that typically go together and are difficult to separate. To ham and egg it is to plug away at something. Ham and eggs or ham and egger can also refer to an ordinary, unskilled, or mediocre person. To all those who had no idea what the hell Trey was saying when he said ham and egg it. So that's what that means.
That's funny.
My personal answer and my strategy is a very on-brand strategy, which is dollar cost average in, dollar cost average out. Forget it. So take profits when you feel like it, when you just want to take profits into USD, you want to buy a deck, you want to buy a house, stuff like that. If you're fortunate enough to do so, just take. Sure, some people might be able to. Yeah, some people might be able to time it.
It's impossible to time it. I mean,
I sure as shit can't, and you likely can't either. So don't try and don't worry about it. Is my point too.
Well, like, you should worry about it, but I mean, you definitely got to have. It's got to be top of mind.
Yeah,
because like some people. I mean, if you're sitting on fat stacks of ETH, I mean, it's going to be, especially the amount of taxable events that you've probably racked up here over the last 5 or 6 months. It's got to be top of mind right now for sure.
Correct. All right, let's shift gears a little bit. Davis Maddock of TakeCast fame wrote in, "How am I so bad at this?" So I want to take this seriously as a question. Like, we've seen a lot of Davis's moves. Gump, what advice would you give to Davis as far as trading NFTs?
So, a couple things. Davis is a busy guy. How many hours do you guys spend in front of your computer for trading NFTs? It's a completely rhetorical question. A lot. You have to be engaged all the time. Number two.
Yeah.
The old Leany rules. Davis doesn't respect the Leany rules. Like the golden puppies today. You gotta. I mint stuff even to this day, like based on what the rest of the Discord is doing. If only 1 or 2 people are like, I minted, I'll think about it. If 50% is like in for 10, in for 20, in for 5, in for 1, that's when I go in. Because you have to trust that the people that you have engaged with on Discord are sharp enough to know when something's good, when something's bad. Davis, I love you, bud, but sometimes you don't follow the leading rules.
Who else has advice for Davis?
I think one of the other things that, and Davis tries, but one of the other things, and I love Davis too, is he gets scared sometimes on those mints where he shouldn't be scared, right? Like, so those mints where we're going hard after it, like gas is high, he gets worried that I don't want to pay 0.2 for this. But that's not the point. Like, I know I don't want to pay 0.2 for it either, but I know someone else might pay 0.4 for it later, right? Like, that's where he gets hung up on a little bit sometimes, is he's scared that in his head he thinks it's too much for him to pay for.
100%.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I learned really early is I watched you guys do these art blocks drops. Celestial Cyclones was one of them. And I just watched. And gas went to like 900 or 1,000. And I was like, oh my God. And then I watched you all print just straight ETH after that. And I was like, never be afraid of gas again. Yeah. Sorry, Lou, I interrupted you, but.
Well, to go off that point, like high gas just means high demand. And high demand means more likely to sell it in the future. So that's where FOMO is highest as well. Like, oh man, like all these other people just paid 2 ETH for this. Then I'm going to buy it at 2 ETH and someone's going to want it for 5 ETH and that sort of thing. So like, that's really part of it. But I think Davis just jumps into too many things without like looking into them at all. Because I mean, you could have looked at that one today and said, "Oh, there's only 700 minted," right? Like, then you just watch it. Like, you don't have to hop in at 700. You can hop in when you see it move from 700 to 2,500 in 20 minutes. But if it's gonna take, I mean, I still think it's not even at 2,000 yet. So it's one of those things where you regret it more when you jump in early, I think, than missing it late. So I
Watch
usually
the
will wait.
pendings.
And
Then you have to pay more.
Oh, pendings are really good. to
Watch the
Yeah,
pending. That's
pendings
the
is
advice.
huge.
Watch the pendings. And I try to keep updated on that stuff in the Discord when we're doing that. I don't know how many people care about it, but for me, if I go to the contract and I see greater than 25 pending, I said, this is worth clicking on. Let's watch it. That's a big piece for me.
Gump, keep doing that. As a member of the Discord, please keep doing that. That is helpful during a mint, by the way. XG, so to Gump's point, Gump said he watches people in the Discord, which is interesting because I will, if Gump says he's minting, I will follow Gump. So it's very, we do fall into, we've fallen into this trap at least once that I know of as far as the Discord of like, yeah, well, I'll mint it. And then we're like, uh-oh, who's going to buy it now? So, but XG, what do you do? Do you watch people in the Discord as far as what the general group sentiment is, or what do you what's your strategy when you're minting these kinds of weird projects that just fall out of the sky?
Yeah, I think I usually just follow you guys. Honestly, just if the majority of all of us like are going in or we're excited. Or another thing is if I personally just like really like the art or something in specific is really like for some reason I really like it, then I'll go in like early. Like for example, I think the gauntlets were one of the things that I went in real early because I just really like the artist himself. And like I think the whole Discord waited like 2-3 days and then that's when everyone started minting.
I do remember you saying that. You're like, yeah, it's Boss Logic. I'm like, who? You're like, it's Boss Logic. Like you're not gonna make it, Dangy. And that was pretty interesting.
That's
Trey,
what
I
happened
feel
with
like-
the Toads. Similar with the Toads. People don't know who
Yeah.
Gremplin was, so then they're like, why are people loving this?
Hey, and I think that's why it's important to have, I go off of our Discord, just as much as anybody, right? Like if the Discord's going nuts, I'm probably minting it's hard not to. I tried not to mint the koalas the other day and Davis was like, couldn't be me. And I was like, God damn it. Now I'm minting koalas and they ended up being a rug. So then that's just how it works. But yeah, I feel like David, it's nice to have other sources of information, other Discords to be in, not even necessarily to hang out and chop it up in there, but just to be like, hey, are these guys on this too, or are we the only ones? Finding, that's why the Punks Discord is kind of nice. You can jump in there, and if something's really hyped, they're probably going to be talking about it in there. So having other sources of information where you can kind of go and see truly how hyped something is really gives you a good kind of gauge on if it's going to be a good mint or not. I also feel like Davis is minting a lot of like the projects that are like on the calendar, which just aren't it nowadays. And not necessarily even that the projects that he's minting are, but they kind of have that vibe. Like they're the types of projects that would end up on the calendar and that's really all they have going for them. Whereas some of the most profitable projects now have, come out of nowhere. They're kind of like, you have to be in the Discord when it drops or when it happens. And like you said, Gump, like Davis is a busy guy. He's doing his DFS content and stuff. So you really can't spend as much time, and he probably can't spend as much time, in there like us degens. So I definitely think that plays a big part in it too.
I want to add one comment about the calendar because I think it's important. So I have onboarded 2 personal friends who are in my basement right now watching the Monday Night Football game to our Discord. And when they first started out, they're like, are you minting the freaky frogs or the sexy seals? Because they saw it on the calendar. I'm like, no, that's trash. Like if it's on the calendar, it's trash. If no one's talking about it in the chat, do not mint it. Don't even research it. You can watch it. And I think that was helpful for them when I told them, like, just don't pay attention to the calendar. Because I used to do that. But the calendar, it is a paid service, guys and gals. They projects pay to get their project on that calendar, and we pull it in because there are good projects on the calendar, but most of them are bad. So just for anyone who's newer, I think that's a good point to make.
I honestly don't even look at the calendar anymore.
Same.
I used to every day check it, see what was on there, but now it's too many projects. I might glance at it and see if I recognize any of the names, just to remind me what time something's coming. If I glance at it and I don't recognize the names, I automatically think like I don't care about those projects, right? Like if I would have heard about it by now. Usually is my philosophy.
Yep.
Unless it's a stealth drop, right? Like I find some of the best projects nowadays, as Trey mentioned, are come out of nowhere, right? So,
or it's some alpha in a secret chat that we don't share with anybody else. That's a joke. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That was from the mushrooms.
If the orcs were in a secret chat, then I apparently missed that secret chat because I did not get on that wait list.
It was a secret chat. It was their Discord. You just had to type in it, and you got on the damn list.
The chat's talking about the
son of a bitch.
The chat's talking about the Padlet, and I actually missed the Padlet days. I don't know if you guys remember, like back in the day, we might have had 3 projects on that Padlet like per week, and we were looking forward to those 3 projects. Now
Pirate,
we have 10 a day, and it's overwhelming, right? So like you really gotta filter some of that noise. Where before it was like, oh, Gutter Cats is coming up 10 days from now. We're all looking forward to it. We don't have that anymore. I find like it's day to day now. We don't look forward to things 10 days from now. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's a great point. Shifting to a different question from Chazan. I don't know how to pronounce your name. That could be a funny bit. Just make Dangy pronounce things. They are concerned about NFT winter. What if it does come? And then if it does come, they have a twist. What are you looking to scoop during NFT winter? So what kind of projects are you looking for a dip on? Here's an example for me. I bought a Toads at about 6.6 Ethereum, thanks to Keegs' prodding and a few other people. I DM'd Keegs and he kind of talked me into it. I like Toads. I really struggled to second guy a project that I had and I sold. But Toads are currently up and hovering a little bit above that floor. So what kind of projects are you all interested in, even at a wintry floor, if prices of NFTs start falling? Babs, we'll start over with you.
Yeah, honestly, like I think the projects that survive through winter are the blue chips. Like I think they have less risk. It's those projects that people have been in for 4 to 5 months and haven't already sold them. Like they're more likely to keep them, like Stacked Toads. But I do think it's either blue chips and like the PFPs that are like the top 5 that everyone recognizes, or those projects that have long-term utility. So like I'm okay holding my Z bags. I'm okay holding some of these projects that want to develop games. I'm okay holding some of these projects that come out with good art. Like those are the only ones I'm interested in terms of NFT winter time, right? Like it has to have utility. It's got to be a recognizable PFP, or it's got to have like future upside of a potential game that's not a fake game, right?
Lou, what's one of yours that you're interested in during winter? What are you trying to scoop for cheap?
Yeah, stuff that has narratives and is kind of like forgotten about. So one that popped up last week was Avastars, where that for a different reason it popped up, but that's one that will pump and then get forgotten about, and then pump and then get forgotten about. It's happened a few times with it, but it has like the historical significance with the on-chain side. And then something like A World of Women, I've been watching as that's gone down. Like I have a price target that I would buy another one on that. And yeah, basically stuff that I think will be long-term and will stick around. Even something like the Stacked Toads, like we were talking about them getting saturated, just the idea of stacking in general. But I think right now they kind of separated themselves from the other ones. It's cheaper version of the Anonymice. It's a cheaper version of the Kongs. And that's what we always look at with the PFP stuff, is that like in between like the cheaper entry point. So I think just finding things that should be fine long-term and have something that's different or historical significance.
XG, what are you trying to scoop cheap?
I think mainly like the blue chip projects are what you should be looking towards. But like for example, something that I would keep an eye on would be like the mutants or the dogs, just because you can always bet on the apes to come back and have some type of hype at some point again. And the mutants, like there is a lot of them, but some of them are pretty cool, and they are the cheaper ape to get into and still feel like you're part of like the whole ape community and not be so left behind, you know. And for the dogs, like I feel like if there's any like out of those three that are gonna like jump up in price more is likely the dogs, because they'll probably have more utility than the actual mutants, and there's much less supply of them.
Gump?
I mean, the blue chips are good. They're fine. But you got to stack, you guys. I mean, if you're not stacking, what are you doing? No, but okay, seriously though, the blue chips are good. And I think XG's point to buying the derivatives of it's really apes, but the dogs and the mutants were a fantastic answer.
Me bits too.
Me bits. Low entry point. Babs, did you or Lou, did you say that stacked toads were the cheaper version of anonymized? They're better than anonymized.
But they're cheaper. I'm not saying that they were better or worse. I'm saying they're cheaper entry point into the staking game.
I know.
Yeah.
But the blue chips, the one thing I wanted to say was, I think when we talk about NFT winter, I fear that a lot of people think of it as like it's going to be 3 months or 6 months. It could be multiple years of NFT winter. So if you're going to be buying these blue chips, you got to be prepared to like ride it out for a long time, 2, 3, 4 years before we get back. Not just, I hope it's a couple months. I really do, but I don't know if it will be.
Do you think it's like a store value in a way too, instead of having it in ETH? Because that's really, like, say it is over a 2-year term, like, would it outperform ETH during that time? Like, say you bought into a kennel dog for 3 ETH right now, and ETH, if ETH goes up to 5K, but the kennel dog went up to 5 ETH, then the kennel dog outperformed it. So I think that's part of it too, that it's really hard to figure that out, obviously. But yeah, some of those with like the ape derivatives are more of like a store of value, where their floor is a lot higher as far down as they'd go, because of, like you said, like all of the people in the ape community, if those things fall under 2 ETH, they're just going to start scooping them back up. So, yeah.
I think if you're really risk averse, you'd be better off holding ETH in that situation. Because let's say in a world where NFTs die, but DeFi lives, you will wish you had ETH instead of your kennel club. That may bounce back for DeFi, but not for JPEGs. If you're super risk averse.
Yeah.
Just that sentence is amazing to me. You might prefer to have your ETH versus your kennel club.
I mean, true.
But like as we always say, the best advice is sell enough NFTs that if they go to 0, you're not upset with your ETH balance, right? Like, so like if you're holding NFTs and they go to 0 tomorrow and you didn't take enough Ethereum off the table, like don't do that, right? Like sell enough that you're still happy at the end of the day, right? I always plan that they might go to 0 one day. Like I don't think they will. Like I'm not trying to spread FUD, but like be happy enough with how much profit you've taken off the table, right? Like,
yep.
Trey, what is your winter coat plan up in the northern plains?
Well, I'm down south right now, but I was actually talking to a friend about this the other day, and like Lou said, like Bored Ape Yacht Club in that circumstance, even in NFT winter, I seriously think that those are going to get scooped up if they get down to like 2 or 3 ETH. So it's kind of hard to say like what I would be buying, because it really is dependent on really how bad it is. If Bored Ape Yacht Club gets down to like below 5 ETH, I'm probably buying. And so that's kind of my stance on it. in terms of what else I'm buying, I'll probably put together a list of stuff, the blue chips, the cool cats, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, punks, if I can afford it, but I have a feeling that that's not going to be even in the conversation. So, just having those and then keeping an eye out for stuff like that, narrative driven stuff that, projects that have teams that are committed to staying throughout that winter, because even on projects that maybe don't, maybe we've even forgotten about during NFT summer, but those teams are just so into it and so about, building that project regardless of who's there, that they are going to build throughout the winter. I think those could potentially be good ones to start looking at. So that's kind of what I'm going to be looking at, but we've never been through an NFT winter yet, like we have with other crypto. So, other crypto, we have kind of a benchmark or baseline to go off of, whereas this, we don't. We don't know how exaggerated this is going to be. So we'll see.
I got to say, on the keyboard hierarchy, Gump, Carlini's keyboard is better than yours, but keep going.
The only thing, like, let's keep in mind that we don't know if winter's gonna ever come. Like, we think it's coming, but like, let's be honest, like maybe we're just all wrong. So like, there's a scenario where more people join OpenSea, all of a sudden users continually increase, like everyone's, over the next year, it just keeps going. But like, I don't want to play that card. Like, I'd rather prepare for the worst than hope for the best. Right. So like, let's caveat that we don't think, like, we've had moments before where we thought winter was here and it recovered 5 days later. Right. So like, let's not say this is the end yet, but
go ahead, Dangy. Oh, I was just going to say, I saw it. God dang it. We keep cutting each other off. Go ahead. Oh, he's moving off screen. Yeah. No, I was going to say, so NFT Collective had a good tweet where it sounds like he liquidated a lot of his account, like other than his punk and some other very blue chip. He was like, look, I saw an opportunity where I could get to like this next level of wealth or, net worth to a point where it would make my, my life that much better, like that next step up. If you are in a position where you could sell one NFT to put yourself in that next level of living, I really think you should be considering that right now. That's what I would be doing. This is so volatile. Like we're just seeing some obscene amounts of money being paid for some of these NFTs. So if you have an offer, if you can sell an NFT and it's going to make your life that much better, you probably should do it. I think that's what I would be doing in that circumstance.
I totally agree. My thinking for winter is exactly what you all said. Blue chips, yada, yada, yada. Trey did mention maybe some NFTs that we forgot about during summer. And that's why I was cupping my hands as a pro wrestler would. Let's not forget the team that I know this is going to be, oh God, again, so on brand, that Penelope's has assembled and they're on board for 2 years. That's a long winter that they can build and they have a team and they're ready to go. It's
a perfect example.
Way early in Penelope's, Lou would say they're the stable coin. And I believe that's good and potentially bad because they're not mooning, but they're stable. They're there for you. So I really believe in that NFT long-term during winter. And I've talked to Carlina. I've said, oh yeah, winter, haha. And he's like, yeah, you don't know winter, buddy. You don't know winter yet. And so I can't even conceptualize what winter really looks like.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I mean, look at CryptoKitties. Look at CryptoKitties. Like those aren't even selling at all anymore. And those were like the original. That's the reason we're all here basically. And those used to sell for plenty more ETH, but it was when ETH was cheaper as well. So it's just kind of like, these pixel turtles and the golden pups and those types of things. I mean, those are things you're not going to want to have 6 months from now, likely. If they're still in your account, you're probably not selling them to anybody.
You're burning them to take that tax loss.
Yeah, or you burn a diaper dog, and then 8 months later they're 0.3 floor, and you wish you didn't burn them. But that I don't think that's going to happen that often. That was kind of a one-off, I think, this last week with those random old projects that started coming back. So I don't think people should look at that and say, "Oh, I'm holding on to this," because what if they make a comeback? It's that I think brought out a little false sense of the market. So I advise not to hold on to all of those types of things. But yeah, it should be interesting. I think we have plenty of time, though. People are still getting onboarded onto NFTs, and there's still a lot of new people out there that haven't bought any NFTs. That's what we saw with the Knights of Degen. These people are going to hold on to things if it's their first NFT because they're just trying to get their feet wet and see what's going on in space.
100%. Okay, let's move from the winter talk. I was trying to find a joke one that I wanted to share on the stream. I don't. You guys I hate you all. I need to share these questions publicly, but I don't want to answer them on the stream. So we'll do that
Tony
later.
admitted that the Davis question was a joke, that it was Tony who sent that.
Oh, I think it's perfect. And I think
That's
it
actually
is helpful. It's helpful advice. Tony's been killing it. Really,
That is so funny.
I love it. So let's pivot to projects we're looking forward to, upcoming projects or even reveals. I guess is a slight cop out. I want to go first, but I think someone's going to take mine, so I'll have to go scrambling. But I'll leave it. I was going to Babs first. We'll go to Trey first if you have one project that you care about in the next. No, okay, no, not Trey. Gump.
I was just looking up. I don't have anything off the top of my head that I'm super stoked about, but we'll see.
You're not going to make it then, because
very well could be. Very well could be.
Okay, then now we have redacted status, so the stream is over, I believe. Is that correct? I'm kidding. Gump, what do you have?
Number one, there's a mint coming up. You need a lot of stack for it, so stack, save, success. Number two, okay, for real, the one I'm excited for is the Kaiju Kings. Those were supposed to be this morning at 11 Eastern. Yeah, there were a lot of people talking about Kaiju. I haven't looked at the supply. There's maybe 1,500 left. I don't want to run into a Metbot situation. I'm a little worried about that, but that's definitely the drop or mint I'm looking the most forward to. We don't have a date or time yet. They said they'd give 24-hour notice. Other than that, the mecha reveal. I can't imagine not having those in my wallet. So pretty pumped about that.
Gump, you holding, or what are you trying to do?
I've been saying the opportunity cost is too high to sell for 5 or 6 when you are talking about 3-digit sales.
That's if you're in a good position where you don't need that money and you can afford to sit on it, I do think that probably is the play, as much as I hate to say it.
Yeah. I'm talking about hitting the Babs here.
Yeah.
And I
send your shit to Babs.
Yeah. I sold the number 11 Oni pre-reveal, and it haunts me every day of my life. 30 sale, 45 offers. It's like I'm just holding it. So that's my next couple of days.
Yeah. And what if you sold one of the two, and then that was the one that was the rarer one, and that's what I was going through.
I sold. It was the last one, and I thought about holding one back. Didn't do it. So
yeah.
XG, what are you looking for?
I mean, I'm mainly looking forward into the mecha reveal. I feel like I'll feel more comfortable holding, going into reveal if I had more than one or two, because then I feel like your chances are just much better to recoup everything you paid for off of one.
Mm-hmm.
And you have 3 chances to hit that.
Yeah.
But if you just have one, I would recommend just not going into the reveal with it, because I do assume it is going to drop at some point. But I'm also interested in I think it's a Duo SX or the Nexus or whatever they're called.
Yeah, I was looking at that one.
Yeah.
I like the art of that, and I'm interested in that. I'm not sure.
I've been in that Discord a long time, it feels like, but
Me too.
Still in there. Still in there. Lots of notifications.
I forget why I'm in Discords, and then I leave them only to find out that I was like on the whitelist or something, and I'm like, God dang it! Like, oh well, that sucks. But
Yeah, like the City Roots one, I get
Oh,
so many notifications
God.
from them.
yeah.
That's brutal.
I think I have 22 from City Roots right now. Lou, what do you have as far as upcoming projects?
The next big one, Akira, that they sent another sneak peek today that looked pretty cool. That's one that I'm excited to get. I think they're doing a Dutch auction though, right, Babs? I think.
Don't you get something for owning the meta key or whatever it was?
Yeah.
There was that dynamic to it, right? I don't know.
I don't have that meta key.
About that one.
I think there's 10,000 like if you own an item, and 10,000 Dutch auction for the public is how it works.
Oh,
20K.
Is it? Is
I
that
think-
much? Because I thought, because
think it's
if you own
20K.
an
That's
artifact
a lot.
or meta key 2,
Yeah.
It's
Medikey
mint.
2, you get 1 mint. Artifact, you get 3.
Yeah.
Floor
So that's
for
the
Meta
issue
Key
with that
2.
one.
So I think it's 10K in
3,000.
total for the people that own stuff if you add up all those free mints, right?
Yeah.
I'd have to double
Yeah.
check, but
Yeah.
There are 750 Medikey 2s, and the floor is 6.8. So that's 750
Yeah.
at a high price.
Yeah.
One thing
Dangy and I
will-
were looking at those at 2.5, and we decided to go with V3. It's because it's cheaper.
It's the most expensive key out there right
And
now.
it was like a day later or 2 days later
Yeah.
that we learned about that. It was very soon.
Yeah.
Dang.
Nobody's taken mine yet. Babs, can you take my project that I'm interested in coming up?
oh, do you? I have 2, so I don't know which one I'm going to take from you. But I have 2 over the next couple of days that are both kind of like expensive, maybe art mints.
Oh no, I'm in trouble.
We're good then. Okay, we're good. One is the Hidden in Noise, and I'm in the Discord. Honestly, I think the pre-sale starts tomorrow. I think I'm whitelisted, so I'm going to mint that. I think it's 0.4. It's expensive, but like I really like
0.404.
Yeah, 0.404. I'm really looking forward to that one. Sorry, I stole it. Yeah, is that the one we did the writing for? I couldn't remember.
That's the one.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
I'm
one.
like, I'm
So-
really looking forward to that one. Sorry, I
That's
stole
one
it.
where if you all are in our or in the Discord / our Discord, we should team up as people. If you're on that pre-sale list and that 0.404 is too expensive, I really like the project. It's kind of heady. It's out there. They did a wonky pre-sale that tells me they're thinking outside the box. Things could be weird and different. Usually that does it well. That's my 2 cents on stealing the Hidden Noise. What other one did you have, Babs?
Sorry, you can keep talking about that one after. But the other one is a Dangy project, which is a Dutch auction too. I'm kind of interested in it. It starts really high. It's 3F. And I think the resting price is 0.3. So it's still expensive, but the art's a little different. It looks good. There's a chance you can win. There's a chance you can win a 7-foot sculpture. So like, I kind of want that in my living room. My wife would love that. So, maybe I'll hit the nuts,
Maybe.
Of course you will.
I don't always. And someone in the chat said about, Gump said he sold the Oni was his last one he sold. It's kind of like my Galactic Apes situation where I sold like all the serial numbers around it, but I kept one serial bro number, and that was my super rare one. And I sold. So yeah,
Classic.
Sometimes people just run hot anyway. Oh yeah.
Tony, give us a number. Give us a number of Metasaurs. I think I missed Metasaurs. I want to write that down.
So Metasaurs is that one. They whitelisted anyone who has a Bored Ape. So I'm on the whitelist for that one. So I'm hoping that's a good project as well. I know. Yeah. So rich.
How rich? How rich? Jeez.
Unbelievable.
I do have one now, Dangy.
One what? Oh, what do you have?
Stringify. Did you end up getting in on that?
Oh God,
No.
not that stupid. Oh, it's so
I
annoying.
grinded that
What
for
was
an
the code?
entire day.
What was the
code? Day. Do not open, I think, was the first one.
It's a different code every time. It's so
It is.
annoying.
They switched it. So like you had to type in do not open when the door was open. And it wasn't that first day that we found out about it. It was like open for maybe 30 to 60 seconds, if that, and then they shut it. So you had to go in there. I had the notifications on for just that channel. And then all of a sudden my computer started going ballistic. So I knew that it was open. I typed in there, and then it opened up this door, and you had to respond correctly to its questions every like X amount of minutes after each one was sent. So it was definitely a process. Shout out to Allison. And there's one other guy in the Discord or in that thread that were working that. And I ended up getting through the door. So I don't know. Apparently it gives you access to a whitelist for a future PFP project that is coming up. That is all I know though. So these are the types of projects that intrigue me though. And I think typically do well is like those ones that kind of have like that narrative or mystery around it where you had to put in some effort to get there. That's kind of why I grinded that out. I normally do not grind that kind of stuff out, but I thought it was cool and fun. So I kind of just went for it.
100%.
Word puzzle. Hate puzzles.
Yeah, I think Gump, were you in there and you're like, I hate puzzles. Yeah. I'm not doing this shit. Yeah, I think King said the same thing.
I tilt left that so hard. Same thing with the museum. When we were walking around the room, where's the keypad? What do we do for this? I'm like,
yeah,
no. I'm gonna get roasted on this puzzle.
Nah, I love that stuff.
I'm out.
That stuff is fun. I like that kind of stuff.
I wonder if the divide is kids versus no kids because I do have kids. I just can't handle them. Trey likes it, no kids. I have one of my buddies, Mahoney, in the Discord. He likes them, no kids. Lou, do you like puzzles?
Love puzzles.
Great, checks out. XG, puzzles.
I'm not a puzzle guy.
Do you have children?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you broke it. Anyway,
I broke it.
Don't bring up puzzles to Tony and I, because we grinded some of the pirate puzzles.
Yeah, I forgot about
the
that.
Pirate Treasure Booty Club.
Got one of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And then you could have sold it right away for a ton of money, and then you held it too long.
I don't think any of them sold more than 2 ETH.
That's
which
a
was
lot, though.
very unfortunate because
Dude, those were cool.
like
If they
it was
did
gonna
that
be
now, I feel like they would do so much better. And if they released it on an actual website
they did it
rather
on
than an
OpenSea.
OpenSea drop,
Yeah.
yes, they would do. That was actually kind of cool. I enjoyed that. Bab sold one for 0.6. It'll always be the front cover of the Padlet in my head. Love it.
Yeah, I think the one that I got from a puzzle I sold for maybe 0.6, like that, because it didn't sell out and people
still
are
have
already
mine.
down on it. Just unfortunate.
well, thank you all for showing up, for hanging out with us during the pizza party. This Discord is, I think it is special. I don't know what it is yet. This group of people, we have fun, we make money. I say that I cry. It does. It feels rare.
It seems different. It kind of like checks all the boxes and shit too.
It does. Solid dev team. It's good. Yeah. But really, thank you all. It's been a lot of fun so far. We're going to keep having fun. Babs, do you have any parting words?
I just wanted to ask Gump one question. Who's your favorite Backstreet Boy?
Oh man, probably Brian, who was the guy that I saw first when we walked up the steps. And I told my buddy. So I went to the game. Won't dox him. It's Iowa Husker in the chat. So we went to the Chiefs game. We had to leave for the rain delay. We're walking up the steps. I'm like, dude, holy shit! It's the Backstreet Boys. He goes, where? I'm like, right there. He goes, well, you have to, like, I don't know what they look like. You gotta show me where they are. So he convinced me to ask him for the photo. And I'm a big Josh Allen guy, so I got to see him. Big Backstreet Boys guy, got to see him. So it was a pretty big night.
Gump, which one is Brian? I don't know Brian.
He's like the next best looking one other than Nick. Like he was the
He's
next
the
previous
shorter
one,
guy.
right?
Yeah, there was only 3 of them there.
He has like a beard or goatee. He's the one
Yeah,
with
he's
the
got a
goatee.
goatee. He's like the
That's
shorter, good looking
Kevin.
one.
That's
Kevin.
No, yeah. Brian's like the shorter, good looking one. Where like Nick and Brian were the 2 good looking ones. The other 3 were kind of like off to the side, right?
Yep. Well, no. So it was AJ in the back, Kevin on the left, Brian on the right. Howie and Nick were not present. So, yeah. Anyway, I've said enough.
It's so funny.
Gump, wear that with pride. I think it's delightful.
Lou, it was great.
Do you have any parting shots, Lou?
No, I didn't really mint anything over the weekend, so I feel like I'm gonna FOMO mint something the next few days and regret it right away. But yeah, I mean, we're getting back into a more like leveled out time, I think. So don't panic too much that prices are down, because I think they were already overpriced. So I think they're just getting more normalized now. So this will be an interesting week to watch what happens over the next few days when we're not in weekend time.
Correct. XG, what do you have for us?
I just want to say thank you for having me on. Also want to thank Pete as well for giving me a platform inside of the Discord. Like it's helping me push towards being the artist which I want to be, and it's helpful having a platform to start out with. So I'm very thankful for that, and just I'll be back with more artwork. Sooner or later I'll be back.
I love it. Gump,
Love it.
parting words, please not related to taxes.
No, not the taxes. The papers. I got to address the papers because that's one of my bits. Let the papers leave. I'm happy about it. Let them go. 2, stack. 3, the Discord's been fun. Like, I seriously do like being in there every day, not doing my real job. I hope no one's working or watching where I work. If you are, still doing okay. But no, this has been fun. Thanks for having me on the show.
Trey, what do you have?
Yeah, I haven't. It's been a while since I didn't mint a whole lot over the weekend. I sold a lot of stuff. I've held so much stuff. I've gotten a little bit lazy with listing. So listed a ton, sold a bunch of stuff here over the weekend, just trying to maybe make my bags a little bit lighter going into Q4 here. Just kind of trying to position myself. I might even go and second guy some stuff, just kind of trying to reposition my NFT portfolio, the ETH portfolio overall heading into this, what could be a pretty crazy Q4. So kind of where I'm at with that. We'll see where things go here. This, like Lou said, this should be an interesting week. If you're worried about the bear market that we're going straight down, I mean, look at the sentiment in our Discord a few weeks ago when we kind of had that same feeling, and then all of a sudden it was bull markets back on and things were just ripping left and right. So the sentiment can change really, really quick. So don't panic yet. I think we still maybe got some runway.
If you're itching for a mint, basement dwellers, they're trotting. They're not sprinting. They're not crawling. They're trotting. That is, I don't mint it, Ori.
Nice.
That's a message for you. Do not mint
They're
it,
not
Ori.
even on the
I'm just
highway
saying.
right now.
No, they're trotting. They're like, I don't even know what they look like. I'm just looking at the 721 highway. Could be a thing. Look at that.
The other thing that is going to happen is if there are these massive mecha sales after reveal, like that's pulling a lot of liquidity out. And so, yeah, I think that's part of what brought some of these projects down, is they were selling off in order to buy. I heard on one of the podcasts that I listened to that this guy sold off one of his apes at 45, which was lower than it should have been, like 50, 60, but it's because he went and bought 10 mecha. So I think that is part of what's driving this right now. So you just gotta get the mechas out of here, and then we'll be good.
Last words from me, and therefore the show, I guess. Find some weird projects. We like, some of us in the Discord at least like DOM. As far as a nerd, I'm in it for the tech. He does a bunch of weird stuff with tech. Apparently, he has a game coming out in 2022. He hinted at hiring and then deleted the tweet. Hiring in early 2022. That's the Blit Maps, the Blit Knots, Sup Drive, and then one other that I forgot that Keegs will yell at me for not pumping. So they're very expensive, but I loves the Blitz. They're cool. They're weird. They're different. I think they're great. What, Trey?
Oh, I'm watching the Indy Baltimore game on the side. He missed the field goal to send it to overtime.
Was it Justin Tucker? Did he miss?
No, Blankenship.
And
It's going to
I'm
OT
facing
now.
Blankenship in a fantasy matchup. And
I maybe got a
I'm
sweat
up by
going in
1
my
point.
showdown.
So that was very big for me.
Yeah.
Good for you, Lou. Good for you. On behalf of Babs, Lou, XG, Gump, and Trey, thank you all for making this dumb pizza party possible. Have a great week.